Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus and this is Romesh Shivastu. Please do subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates and conversation with the top notch CHROs. Today, we are going to discuss about the next generation rewards and benefits. Actually, if we trust on data, so Generation Z currently constitutes around 30% of the total world's population. And it is also expected that in coming 2 years, by 2025, the Generation Z, they will constitute around 27% of the total workforce. And by 2030, it will constitute around 30% of the total workforce. So this is a big proportion. Another important question is also there that do we really understand that what they expect from the organization? This is also a big question. Still, we are trying to figure it out. To discuss in detail, today we have two senior HR leaders. Let me introduce Mr. Ankur Poddar. He is Head Human Resources, India Consumer Business and HR Operations at Lenovo. And Mr. Shalin Manik is the Chief Human Resource Officer at Transgen India. Ankur, first I would like to go with the big question that do we really understand that what the Generation Z employees they're expecting from the organizations, and especially if you look at the reward and benefits part.
Thank you for having me. I think it's a very interesting question. And before we decode what are they expecting, I think we need to take a step back and understand their motivators, values, and preferences. What is it that they're looking for, right? I think that'll help us lead to expectations. I think this generation poses a lot of paradoxes for the organizations, which creates its own challenges. Let's take an example. Like you said, what are they expecting? First thing that they're expecting is instant gratification. So I think their expectation is that the rewards and benefits that are being offered are more short term, and the realization happens here and now. That's a clear expectation that they have. And the paradox here is, if you look at the traditional awards like LTIs and all, which companies used to give to build loyalty, right? There used to be stock options, ESOPs, and all that, which were long term in nature. I think this generation is slightly different. They're looking for what is in it for me right now. I think that's one very important point. Second, interesting paradox is their digital appreciation. They are looking for awards and benefits which are enabled through digital mechanisms or digital mediums. And the interesting paradox here is that we give awards and we have to balance touch and tech, with that. When I say that, the personal appreciation that you would bring with an award through a touch has to be balanced with the technology know-how of the digital platform that you're using, which is the second part, very, very important, which is there. And third thing is they're looking for something concrete, right? And when I say that, it brings me to my third paradox, which is the paradox between emotional awards and rational awards, right? So you can't have notional awards which are appreciative in nature. They have to result into something tangible and concrete, right? Whether it is monetary or whether it is in form of some non-monetary award, but it has to have substance in it. And that's the third important thing that they are looking at, right? And fourth thing that comes to my mind is individualization. This is a generation which believes in their own lifestyle, their own ways of looking at life, and hence customization of awards and benefits becomes very, very important. You can't have a mass approach here, which used to be the case in traditional organizations, that you kind of fix up an award and you give it to the largest segment. That doesn't work here. You'll have to customize it to their likes and their needs.
And Celine, how do you figure it out? What are their expectations from the organizations?
So I absolutely resonate with the inputs which Ankur has given. The only thing before I'll give you answer to this question, I just wanted to share it that Gen Zs are the new cohort to the job market, right? And research related to that, it's absolutely at a nascent stage. So companies are still exploring what they can do to make sure that they can attract, retain, and keep them engaged. So the entire efforts are going around that, and no company is unique enough who has actually cracked that code. So, with respect to your question in terms of reward and benefits, I'll just divide into two parts. If I talk about reward perspective, uh, definitely what I have observed that this set of generation is looking for a fair pay. So, when we talk about fair pay, um, it does not mean that equal pay, which means that if you are doing any role, anybody doing any role will get paid equally. They don't expect that. They are more concerned about pay equity, which means that whether the kind of skills, experience, and education background that the person carries, the person should be paid according to that. And that is very, very important for them to really take a choice of maybe entering into the organization or pick their battle. That's one part of it. And also they need the best of both worlds. When I say best of both worlds, it does not mean that you pay them well and they be happy to join you or continue with that. You also need to give them a lot of benefits, which makes them happy and feel that they are working with an organization who actually taking care of their well-being as well. So when I talk about benefits, the first and foremost is the flexi work arrangement. Now, I have not seen any Gen Z recently who has not asked me this question that do you have opportunity for remote working? Do you have hybrid work environment? Do you have a flexi work hours? So these are some of the basic questions even at the time of interviews these guys would ask. So flexible work environment is definitely one benefit that everybody look at it, and that is very, very important for organizations to really clarify them, because unlike previous generations, which is Gen X or millennials, this set of generation, they would love to work, but they also would like to balance their work life balance along with the work. So organization really need to take care of that. Plus, in terms of working for diversity, equity, and inclusion, why I'm saying, because this team is absolutely, or this generation is looking forward to work with diverse team, because if you see, you will find the maximum LGBTQ people in this generation, unlike the others. So they would so happily engage with different diverse set of people and they are happy working with them. So until unless an organization who are working on this aspect of inclusivity, equity, and diversity, I am sure, but they would not work happily for a long period of time. And when I'm talking about this question, for me, not only hiring them, it is also important how you can retain and engage them. So, in the nutshell, I would say reward and benefits is a very, very important aspect to really hire, engage, and retain them. So, that's my viewpoint.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, Shalin. The work-life balance, the flexibility, the clarity and the pay part. Definitely, these all are the expectations. But these expectations are not only for the Gen Z employees. I think they are very clear about their expectations. I think they are very focused on their expectations. They take the stand if because these expectations are for all the generations. But how clear you are about their expectation when do you take the stand? That is very important. So, if we after the the introductory part of this their expectations, can we move towards the little deeper and try to understand that what are the monetary and what are the non-monetary rewards companies can offer to the Gen Z employees to attract them, to retain them, to motivate them?
So, in terms of the monetary, when we hire anybody, look, our organization in terms of compensation is well balanced. So, not only on the fixed salary, we make sure that there is a portion of the salary which goes into the performance linked incentive. That also we give it not only on a quarterly or 6 monthly basis, that is on a monthly basis, which means that you continue to perform and you keep on getting an extra add on with your salary. So, that is a very big enabler. So while you are getting your fixed pay, how about getting an incentive which is on a monthly basis? So that is one big monetary aspect which really I would say attract a new generation to be on board. Plus we have a performance bonus which based on the business unit performance on a quarterly basis. And plus at a certain level we also give project incentive. So in our organization, since we are a technology mobile technology organization, there are various inflow of project which keeps on coming. So we have, before we actually launch that project, we decide the allowances against that or a bonus against that. And when the teams individual deliver that, they also get it on a regular basis, which means that throughout the year, not only getting their fixed pay or their monthly incentive, they keep on getting other project benefits as well. So that is on the monetary part. On the non-monetary benefit, look, when you hire any Gen Z, you have to have your swag bag ready to really ensure that while they've been interviewing in many other companies, you are the first one they will pick their choices with. So a lot of good policies that we have. I would still say that while flexi arrangement is very lucrative among all the generation, but when you talk about Gen Zs, it is in fact more so. For that, what we have done, we have divided the entire flexi arrangement to three parts. One, we have allowed people to come to office late for 5 days in a month. They are also getting short leaves too, which means that if they have personal exigency, they can come late, and they can also have flexi breaks, which means that they compress their entire week in a form where they can work for 45 hours, and then the time that is left, either they can take an off there, or maybe they can add it up to their leaves. So that is again one criteria where they can increase their leave balances, because this generation, they would like to really spend their time with family, they can go on vacations. So leave something which they can really have it in their bag, and they would like to utilize it for their benefits. So there are certain things that we are doing to make sure that they can enjoy their life, not only work, but whenever they take off, they can fully utilize that. um, One more thing that we are doing it, and which is really working out well for us in terms of non-monetary benefit, in terms of comprehensive health, well-being, and financial wellness program. Everybody is well covered under the Mediclaim insurance policy and GPAs, but we have also make sure that every single person can take advantage of the employee assistance program, because this set of generation, since they are very anxious about maybe peers, about what is happening around them, uh, the mental health issues is a big problem among this generation. So what we have done, we have tied up with an organization and making sure that in case anybody needs any counseling support, they are on full confidentiality, they can take those assistance program. And along with that, we have also tied up with a doctor on call. There is one company that we have tied up with, which means that anybody anytime looking for a doctor support, maybe the doctor is a one phone call away. So when these set of people feels that the organization is so well aligned to their values, which means that giving, as Ankur has rightly mentioned, that personalization or individualization, so they give weightage at the time of taking certain decision in their career. So that's how we are actually trying to engage them from a non-monetary and monetary front.
Ankur would like to add here something on this monetary and
Yeah, I think most of
monetary.
it Shalin has covered. But from a best practice point of view, couple of points. One is your salary structure, especially the fixed part, also supporting your lifestyle? And when I say that there is a flexi basket which is available, on which you can claim reimbursements and allowances basis your usage of, say, a Sodexo meal card, or you're taking a car lease, or an accommodation. So on those pieces, you can, you get allowances which are very tax friendly. So I think companies are becoming innovative in terms of designing their salary structures to support the lifestyle of the segment, which is clearly there. I think the frequency of the bonuses or the variable pay is the second point that the companies are re-looking at, because, like I said, the instant gratification is very high in this generation. So I have seen companies which are paying on a quarterly basis, which have divided their annual bonuses into 4 quarters or maybe half yearly basis, right? So that is the second innovation that I'm seeing here. Third is milestone based awards or milestone based bonuses is the other thing. So apart from the performance, regular performance, if there is some milestone that I'm achieving as an individual, I'm contributing to the organization. So how am I getting rewarded in terms of the cash award? So that is the one of the things that sounds in terms of non-monetary benefits. I think they're all the non-monetary benefits are aligned to 3-4 different dimensions. One is they're pivoted around the flexibility. You can decide your hybrid as per the hybrid working policy. You can decide a couple of days when you want to come to office or when you want to work from home. You have casual leaves, which you don't even have to, which don't get deducted from your privilege leaves. These are over and above that. These are leaves to manage your contingencies, or to manage something that you want to attend to, right? So that is very clearly there. Then there is something called as, like I said, the lifestyle and the well-being. So on your birthdays, you get your leaves, you get a leave, you can take an off, which is again an add-on thing. So just for you to enjoy time with your family, like Shalin said, they want to spend time with their family. Then there's a dog, and one of the things that I've realized is they're also looking for benefits which are more real time and continuous in nature. So things like teleconsultation for doctor, right? So there's a CNH which is available. You can consult, you and your family can consult a doctor on the go as and when you want, right? These are some of the things which are quite unique, and they are evolving, right? So they are at nascent stage, but they are evolving. In addition to this, the continuous education programs, because this is a generation which has recently entered the workforce or is entering the workforce, so they are looking for upskilling themselves. So specific training and development programs, which are targeted to their development as part of company sponsorship, is the other piece which is very interesting to look for. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, right, Ankur. Ankur, already we are into the hybrid work model, and when we're talking about the flexibility at work, so the workload flexibility, that may be the working hour flexibility, that may be, and you also mentioned some the leave part. So there are two dimensions here. One is the categorization of the leave, and another is non-categorization of the leave. You may having the n number of leaves, but don't need to categorize. Especially this generation, does not like categorization of the leave. They don't prefer to mention the purpose for opting the leave. So how do you practice in your organization?
COVID kind of brought us to homes. We started working from homes, and from there started evolving this entire concept of hybrid working, right? This generation very clearly is not concerned about coming to office and working from there under physical supervision. They clearly they want autonomy, and they want flexibility to decide where they want to work from and when they want to work, right? That's the other piece. I think the second part is still evolving, because there are fixed hours in which you need to log in and you need to be connected. But where you want to work from, of course, like I said, there has to be a balanced strategy. So a couple of days you can work from office, you need to be in office, so that, because you also need that camaraderie and collaboration in the office, right, with the teams. So there are certain things which are better done face to face through a brainstorming thing or whatever, ideation and all that stuff, right? But there is a large part that you can also do away from work while you're connected through digital means, through your internet and your laptops and all that. So that gives them the flexibility to decide, which all days they want to come to office, which all days they want to work from home. They can decide their work pattern and work schedule accordingly. So that's something which is working well for them. We are also giving them flexibility in terms of awards. Like I said, the flexibility is not only about the working flexibility, but sometimes we also give them choice in form, when you're giving an award, whether it's in terms of gift vouchers or maybe coupons or whatever, you can decide what you want to purchase, right? If it is a skill-based gift voucher, then you can decide which program you want to enroll in, right? You can decide basis your need, right? So that also gives them autonomy and empowerment to decide how they want to redeem or avail that particular award. Yeah, this is largely on the flexibility piece.
Stalin, you were also talking about some growth opportunities for the Gen Z employees. So they're very clear. They have some their career plan, and they know in next 1 year where they want to see them in next 3 years, the next 5 years. So you need to facilitate them. So how do you provide them the some learning opportunities so that they can grow in the career?
uh, Learning and development, or I would say personal development, is very, very important for this generation. And when you see the kind of work that they are delivering, it is important that we give them first a meaningful work. And for meaningful work, it means that how their career is shaping up by doing that role. So an organization really need to take care of their learning and development, their personal development as well. So so in our organization, what we have done, we have made a career path very, very clear for all our job positions. And in fact, there are job families which they can relate to, and everything is on our LMS, which means that if there are career path which is well defined and they would like to really move across various roles, so the kind of the trainings that they need to really do, or the kind of job rotation and job mobility that they need to do, it's clearly mentioned over there. And for them it is very very clear that if they are performing a role within the marketing function, and if they want to move into some other vertical of marketing, what are some of the things that they need to do, whether it is training, whether it is certification, and how much support an organization can do to really take them through. It's very very clear. So it is important for an organization now to keep this basket very very clear for them, in order to make sure that it is in front of them at all times, and they can take their choices very very clearly. Otherwise what will happen, if your learning and development strategies are not clear, not only for this generation but more so for this generation, then you will end up losing them, because if you are not give them clear direction, they will step out. So it is very very important for an organization to make sure that they keep learning, they keep scaling themselves. Like AI is the new thing that has been coming along. So and people have started talking about chat gpts, and how to really make sure that they can deliver or move ahead of their mundane tasks. So what we have done, we have planned to really go ahead with chat gpt workshop and certification for all our employees, especially on a certain segment which really requires that part very frequently. So all such initiatives really keep them excited, and they feel that while the organization and the technology is moving ahead, company is ready to invest in them. And this word from an employee standpoint, that organization is ready to invest on me, is a very very unique proposition that an employer and an organization can uh, maybe keep endorsing with the employees. So very very important for us to make sure that.
Yeah, Ankur, I think we are trying to cover all the aspects related to the reward and benefits for the uncensored employees. So well-being that plays also very important role, and this is not only with the physical well-being, not only with the physical wellness. We are also trying to focus on the financial well-being of the employees. So how do you practice the financial well-being for the uncensored employees?
There are a lot of avenues where you get advices and you get counseling to be able to manage these portfolios well. For example, EAP is one of them, which is employee assistance programs, where you can reach out to certified counselors and seek help on a one-to-one basis, and that's completely confidential. That's available. I think what really works is a mentorship program, because a relationship between a mentor and a mentee is not only professional, but it also gets into personal domain. So if you have the right mentorship program, where mentors are there to support you or guide you in certain situations which they have lived at some point in time in their life, I think that gives a lot of confidence to this generation. While I spoke about well-being, I think the work-life balance is very, very important for this generation. A lot of companies ensure that special occasions like their birthdays, anniversaries, and all that stuff, they get time to spend with their family members. They are given an off, so that they can spend time at home and all that thing. So those are some of the things which are there. On the financial well-being, it's more about tax planning, investment planning. So there are regular sessions which the expert teams do, financial experts do, and they are also in the early years of their careers, right? So they need more of it to understand now how should they plan their investments for the year, where should they block their money and all that stuff. So those are regular things now that they expect from a company, and to my mind all these are hygiene now. It's not that it will give an edge to any company. This is something that Generation Z would expect when they're getting into that. These are things that are by given for them.
Yeah, Shane, I think you want to add here something.
In terms of the financial wellness, and I completely agree what Ankur has mentioned. Apart from that, look, this generation, when since we are talking about Gen Z, uh, these guys are quite extravagant in terms of their spending. And look, there are so much of expenses that they have on their health, on their well-being, on their personal attires and all. So and they're actually living paycheck to paycheck, which means that they hardly save money for themselves, and they try to really spend anything that they earn it. So what we also, apart from EAPs and all, what we have also encouraged, we have tied up with companies who are having this financial wellness app, in which and it is obviously it's a user based, and they have their user IDs, and they just put their entire budget in place, and the kind of savings that they would like to do, and the kind of spend and that helps them to build a emergency fund. And that emergency fund can be used in terms of paying back their student loans that they are there, or maybe ensuring that in future, in case they want to start with the retirement benefit, because they don't want to save completely the entire spend, because they would like to live life. And this generation is basically uh, is working to live, rather than maybe the Gen Z's, or sorry, the Gen X and the millennials are there live to work. So a very small portion of it they would like to put it in the retirement fund, and that's how they can really build their financial well-being. So there are many I say free of cost wellness apps that really help them, and this is picking up a lot as far as our employees are concerned. So that is one aspect which will continue to grow, and there are many organizations who are getting into this. So since they want to build base, they are more than happy to engage with the organization, give them free of cost, and they also would like to share the trends with the employers, that how the spends of your employees on a certain aspect, so that you will also get to know, in case they need certain other support from the organization, they can continue to do so. So that's one addition to what Ankur has mentioned.
Ankur, I think we tried to cover the entire subject. Would like to add anything else which is important and we did not touch here?
This is still at a nascent stage and evolving, as Shalin mentioned in the beginning. I think we are also learning, experimenting, and exploring on a day-to-day basis, and discovering a lot of things. So this is going to, evolve with time. I think we need to be patient with this generation, and I think that's where the managers play a very important role in understanding their dynamics and kind of giving them the right perspective. Yeah, that this is it. Yeah.
And Shalin, any of your final quick comments?
So when we are talking about Gen Zs, how we can really see their rewards and benefits, one thing I would like to mention, all the business leaders, organization, HR, we actually need to resonate with this generation. And we should, when we designing our rewards and benefit programs, we need to make sure that we focus on customization, one, and give them a lot of personalization and individualization. Plus we need to work on flexibility, that is very very important. And also we also align to their Gen Z's value. Once we combine everything together, we'll make sure that they will be happy working with us for a long period of time, because that's the ask they have from the future employers as well. So and as he rightly mentioned, it's very as a nascent stage, but a lot of researches are anyways going on, and we are also looking at certain new trends, try to incorporate in how well we can work with them. But it will take some time. But we are happy that most of the organizations are in the right direction to really engage them well. And this generation is very very important for the all the organizations and future employers. So we need to keep working out for more plans for them.
Right. So thank you so much, Ankur and Shalin, for joining the conversation and sharing wonderful thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for having
Romesh,
us.
for inviting us. Thanks, Ankur.